Hey, my name is Charles, and you're getting entertained by Bupodcast.
Charles, man, what's going on? How you feeling today, man?
I'm feeling great, man. I'm happy to be here. How about yourself?
I'm happy to have you here, and I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. I'm blessed. I'm highly favored, and I can't ask for anything else. I appreciate you coming on the show. So I got some real heavy topics that I want to discuss with you. Um, I'm trying to dive into how to attract more of the younger youth to the game, that audience, and the game, the listeners, the younger listeners. So I think a lot of the questions that I have for you is going to shed some light and bring some of the younger audience to the show and have them listen and pretty much learn about Boo Podcast and subscribe and stuff like that to figure out like what we all about here. So the first question is going to be based around mental health because again, that's what my podcast is about. It's about creating a safe space for black men to come feel comfortable talking about mental health, accountability, vulnerability, emotions, and just creating an all-around safe space for them to be able to come to not feel judged and feel biased, and just to kind of let them know like it's okay to be yourself. It's okay to not be okay in certain situations. So the first question I got for you, right? How does your generation approach mental health compared to the older generation?
No, that's an excellent question. So I feel like for my generation, we actually do kind of care about our mental health a lot. I feel like, especially like since COVID happened, like I noticed this a lot. Where there's like a lot of like mental health platforms coming up, like BetterHelp.com, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So a lot of my like some of my favorite content creators, I just watch just like because I'm habitually on like YouTube from time to time, just watching like news stuff, and like I always heard like this is sponsored by BetterHelp.com. This person doing this, and then people always talking about what you got to do for your mental health. There was this one person I used to watch, not like a lot, and it was like because me, I'm a gamer. He was doing it was his thing was like Better Gamer Help or something like that, and all he did was just talk about like all the psychological stuff, all the like stuff, especially when it comes to young men and how they deal with things and how we see things and things such as that. But, like you starting to see more things pop up for like people our age and like how we perceive and deal with things, and they kind of like talk people through. And then on top of that, just looking at my friend groups and the people that I have in my life, other than just my father, believe it or not, some of the old heads actually do know how to communicate emotions for themselves. They don't, but when it comes to helping you through something, it's like they good at it. And then I've had my friends when I was going through things, it's just like I just hit them up. I had friends hit me up for stuff, and all I do is just sit there, and a lot of times I'm not even talking. I'm just listening. I'm just trying to help them get through every situation they're going through.
And what's some of the coping methods and best practices you use to balance that in today's society?
So coping, and this one back in the day wasn't like the most healthy. So I was a big homebody when I was a kid. So whenever I be having anything or I'm in my head, I used to just be in my room, just like playing my game and everything. That's just like my way of like. It wasn't like just a coping. It was just like me kind of like escaping the world, going into a different world. That was like my coping mechanism. Nowadays, like I'm a fairly chill guy. So I just when I feel like I'm going through something or I feel like I got something on my mind, it's not like I'm using a coping mechanism anymore. I'm just talking to my friends about it. I'm really calling people up, I'm asking how they doing, asking how they what they going through, what's on their mind, hearing them out, and then I'm just talking to them too. And then like a lot of times that kind of was what helped me out, and then it helps like kind of bring up. It helps keep those friendships alive too, and it helps keep your mental health there. So instead of just like escaping in that world like I used to when I was a kid, I just call the bros. Yo, how you doing? Let's talk about something real quick. That's how I do it.
And are you getting that same in return?
Yeah, yeah, I do. Again, like I've called people before and they've had things on their mind. They just hit me up randomly, like, "Hey, bro, I'm going through something," or like, me and my girl going through something. Like, can I just want to talk to you, get something off my chest. I'm glad I'm able to do that for some of the friends in my life. In all honesty, like that's good. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I may not be the best, but I'll always give you my ear. I can't always give you the best advice, but I'll always give you my ear.
Yeah. Sometimes, believe it or not, sometimes that's all you need is somebody that's actually listen and understand what you're saying, and then also respond because anybody can listen with you to what you're saying, but if you're not getting a direct response, then the listening part is kind of null and void because like you don't want to just be talked at and you don't want to just be talked to. Like you want somebody that's gonna actually listen, and then once you're finished talking, they're going to actually respond to all the information that you just fed them. Respond, respond, so that you can acknowledge. So that it's basically them acknowledging that they heard you, they understand you, and then giving you some type of something back. Because a lot of people, like, they'll listen to you and they'll hear you out, and then once you're finished, they won't say anything. Like it won't be nothing, and it's kind of just like you just put all of everything that you were going on that person, but that person basically didn't really make you feel better outside of you just venting, but then you didn't get a response from them. How do you feel about therapy for black men? Like, black men?
Honestly, I feel like therapy is definitely something. Even if you feel like you don't need it, it definitely is a good thing. I don't know if I necessarily need it or not. I'm not opposed to it. You know, I haven't really thought too much about my life. I'm like, okay, what has happened in my life that I feel like I might need it?
Yeah.
You know, I've had a good amount of people in my life, especially lately. You know, lately I've had people I talk to, and they kind of help you work through some of the things I would mentally go through at the time. So, like, I don't think right now I would need it, but I'm very pro therapy. I'm pro everybody getting therapy. If you have some trauma in your past, don't be afraid to get some therapy. You ain't weak for it. You're strong for it. It's gonna make you even stronger.
That's good. That's good. And I'm saying that from a place of, I was one of those people that I was on the other side in the beginning. I was like, I didn't believe in therapy. I was just like, man, I'm not talking to no stranger. Like, I'm not about to tell this complete stranger like my life and the trauma that I've been through. Like, I was completely against it. You know, and it took my mom, having multiple conversations with my mom and my wife, to kind of make me understand, like, no, it's okay to go to therapy. Like, if you need help, you talk to somebody. Like, sometimes just talking to family and friends is just not enough. Because here's the thing, when you just talk to family and friends and you communicate only to family and friends about your trauma and what you're going through, always remember one thing. It's never going to change. This one thing, the bias part of it, right? Because if you're talking to family, it's your family. They know you. They're not going to chastise you. They're not really going to check you. They're not going to say no Charles, like, you was wrong. Now, some family members will do it, don't get me wrong, but 9 times out of 10, family and friends, like, they're always going to take your side in some type of way. Not all, but in most cases, right? But when you talk about therapy, you're signing up to speak to somebody that you don't know from a can of paint. So that person don't know you to judge you. That person doesn't know you to be biased. That person is going to tell you, no, you wrong. What you did was wrong. You should do it this way, blah, blah, blah. So that's the one thing that going to therapy talking to a therapist will do that speaking to a family, close relative, or a friend won't do. There's no biased opinion because they don't know you.
So I'm assuming it's safe to say you've been through therapy before, correct?
I have.
So from what I always understood about therapy, and, like, at least the way I try to approach it when I talk to my friends about things, is like, I'll definitely give you my opinion on something. I always thought of it as just me giving you my ear, and then, say based on what you tell me, like, except for being like, you should do this. I'm like, all right, do you feel like, after everything you told me, do you feel like this might be, something you might want to do at some point? Except for, like, I feel like when I'm talking to someone, it's not for me to sit here and just give you some response off the rip. It's to, like, understand and just try to help you understand what you're going through. Like, you know what you're going through, but, like, really kind of, like, talking you through it. So, like, when you say, hey, bro, like, so-and-so's always yelling at me and this, and this, and that, and that. And I'm like, it seems like I constantly go through stuff, man. Do you feel like at some point in time, that this is healthy for you? Do you feel like at some point in time it might be best for you to go your own way? It's like, I feel like if I'm talking to my friends about something like mental health or how they're going through something, I'm not going to unless it's bad, I'm not going to sit there and be like, do this.
Yeah. Because
at the end of the day, like, that's your situation, and only really you can come to that conclusion. Unless it's like something I know is dangerously bad for you, I feel like it would be wrong for me just to be like, yo, do that. I'm like, nah, bro, like, I want to help you think about the situation, think about what you're in, and, like, help you put yourself in a space where you can be like, all right, this will probably be the best decision for myself. At least that's how I come from it.
Yeah, and that's pretty much what therapy is. That's pretty much what therapy is they're not going to make the decision for you. It's always going to be a recommendation on what they feel like you should do, but only you can make that decision on what you want to do. If it's an unhealthy situation, yes, the therapist or any good friend is going to be like, yo, like, this is not a healthy situation. It's not a healthy situation. Every time we talk, you telling me the same stuff, and it seems like it's always getting worse. Like, it's not getting better. So I don't think that this is a healthy situation to be in. Now, you can always take, somebody to the water, but you can't make them drink it, right? But with therapy, and again, like, I'm speaking from a place because I've done it, and I've been able to use different coping methods and use different strategies and procedures to help me get through some of my darkest times, right? And acceptance. You know what acceptance is?
I know what it is definition wise, but educate me.
Definition wise, what is your definition of acceptance?
So you have to put me on the spot like that. I don't appreciate that. I don't read the dictionary like that every day.
No, I said your definition, not the exact definition that's in the dictionary. No, I don't even know the exact definition that's in the dictionary for acceptance.
For me, acceptance is taking things as they are. I recognize what is going on, and I just take it as it is.
And that's my definition. Head on, right? So the biggest thing that I've learned in therapy was acceptance, right? Accepting people, places, things for what they are, who they are. Once you do that, everything will be a lot easier, a lot more simpler. Life would be a lot more simplified because you're taking, if somebody show you who they are, you're taking them for what they show you that they are. That's like, it's simple. Like, it's very, very simple. Like, acceptance, like, you have to be able to accept things. Like, and acceptance don't come easy. Like, it takes a very long time for people to really be able to accept anything in life. Like, because everything's not always going to go the way that you want it, when you want it, and how you want it. So sometimes you just got to accept, like, this is what it is for right now. Not that it's always going to be that way, but this is what it is at this very moment. What can I do to change the situation to make the situation better? You figure that out. But for right now, I have to accept that this is the way things are, and I know what needs to be done to change. So acceptance, I think acceptance is key. I think once you start accepting things for what they are, people for who they are, everything will be a lot more easier.
I really like that you bring that up, and it's kind of crazy. I know we talked like 3 or 4 days ago. You hit me up on Gram like, "Hey, bro, come down to the podcast." It was about a couple days ago, right? I'm at my part-time job. I'm a cashier at Wegmans, but they got me doing other stuff, and I had a couple things on my mind, and it wasn't per se like acceptance. It was something more so along the lines of just I worry too much about things that's really not in my control. So in a way, accepting things, not just accepting things, it's like also taking the time to just be in the moment, take it day by day. I know what has to be done. It's going to be done, and I'll be fine regardless. When I came here today, I told you that I had that accident on Friday, right? Yeah. Over the weekend, I had that mindset. I said, you know what? I'm not even gonna be stressed about it. I know what happened. It's gonna be fine. I'm cool. I got a call from people today. They said, 9 times out of 10, from the way they dealt with things, it's their fault. You're gonna get your own fix. I'm like, yeah, all right, cool. What's the next thing I gotta take care of? I had to call someone else today. All right, cool. Get that taken care of. Just stay in the moment, stay in the day, take everything as it is, and just keep going. That was literally something I said to myself a couple of days ago. And like I remember, just like it's really crazy to say the day just became a little bit more beautiful when I did that. Exactly, that acceptance.
And also, like you just said, you can only focus on what you can control. Everything else is going to fall in line. Why stress yourself out about something that you can't control? You can't physically fix your car. I mean, I don't know, you probably can, but like, why stress yourself out about it?
And even if I couldn't, it's just cosmetic. Say the bird up, get it fixed. It is what it is.
Where there's a will, there's a way. It's not like today you was able to get here. without a car. So like, don't stress yourself out about stuff that you can't control. I try not to stress myself out about things that I can't control, no matter what it has to do with. If it's money, it doesn't matter what it is. Like, I really just try not to like stress myself out with things that I have no control over, because if you put a lot more focus into the things that you can control, the things that you can't control, like I said, it's going to fall in line. Why put so much energy on stuff that you can't control when the things that you can control, you're lacking in? Put all that time, energy, and effort into everything that you can control, and let the stuff that you can't control fall in line.
You agree? Like, I agree. Right now, everything in my life right now, I feel like it's falling in line. I might have my hiccups here and there. Listen, man, I got my family around me. I got people helping me out. At some point, like, I have my little down moments, but I just remind myself, like you said, I'm blessed. I'm good. God is treating me good. I got my parents in my life. They help me out with things. They make sure I'm good, both physically, mentally, and health. I got my friends around me. I still got some type of bread in my pockets regardless. You know, there's days like that when I just wake up, I'm like, yeah, I really got nothing to worry about other than just, you know, getting back on track how I want to.
What motivates you?
Right now in my life, the thing that motivates me is just wanting to do better for myself. I actually had this conversation with my dad, and it's like, I don't know if my parents, you talk to my dad. I recently had bought a property out like in like Northeast Philly, and you know, my dad, you know, thank God he's had the career he's had, because he's actually been teaching me a lot. You know, I'm like, I gotta do this and do this. He says, nah, you ain't gotta do all that. Relax on that. You ain't gotta do all that. I've been in this field for years. So it's the motivation of getting that property ready to have someone move in, then get myself in there, because there's like 2 floors. Get myself in there, have my own spot, have someone upstairs, do that, you know, get something started there, and then, you know, continue on my career. Is like, especially with the fact that you start, you know, I'm 28 years old, you start talking to some chicks and everything. Is like, I don't want to be doing the stuff I was doing when I was 24, 23, 22. I want to be an actual grown man and start living a grown man life. So it's like, I want to start moving on.
So what are some of the things you're doing to take a step in that direction?
So right now, I've been applying to a bunch of new jobs where I feel like, and I'm not just talking about like just something that just pays a little bit more. I'm talking about something that would challenge me, something that would be considered like the next step in my career. I had a nice little something last week when it comes to interviews. I'm hoping I get something from that. But like, you know, the more I thought about these jobs when I applied, granted, I want something that's going to pay well, but I also want something that's going to be like a genuine next step, something that's going to be a little harder, a little bit more responsibility. And then on top of that, the responsibility of actually trying to maintain a property. And then on top of that, with maintaining that property, trying to figure out all the little odds and ends that come with that. And I will admit, it makes it easier for me to do it having my dad in my life. And one beautiful thing about my career that I've had as, like, you know, working with IT and everything, is that I've met other people in my career, and I still keep in contact with those people to this day. By doing that, this guy, he himself also has like multiple properties. He has multiple properties. He literally has been coaching me through. He literally sent me like a little report on the area for something he has, saying you could probably charge about this much for rent. Or when it comes to like you and like managing and buying stuff, he says, yeah, it might be smart for you just like go to Wells Fargo, open up a business account, get an EIN number, get a different credit, you know, get all that stuff to have it managed through. Then make sure you pay off that card every month. Don't carry a balance. Get that separate business account. Make that separate, you know, make that little small email. Don't go too crazy. Do X, Y, and Z. I'm like, I got the management end of things when it comes to my dad, and like how to take care of the property and what to do with the tenant. And then I got the person over here that's like the investor and what he does with all the other small stuff too. So yeah, I'm good, man. That's the steps I'm taking to try to like better myself. I'm talking to those people, and I'm actually trying to make the moves.
At your age, being 28 years old, do you feel rushed or pressured at all to try to accomplish any of this in a specific amount of time?
I'm not going to lie to you, a little bit. You know, it didn't really hit me till like I realized like I'm 28 years old. Like 28 came up with me so fast and out of nowhere, and it was just like I actually sat back and I'm like, all right, you know, I've had a good amount of jobs and everything. I'm making a good amount of money at this point in my life, but it's like it's nothing crazy. And it's like it kind of hit me like I'm 28. I feel like I should have gotten to a certain point in my career by now. And now I'm kind of like in a rush where it's like I kind of said, by the age of 30, I at least want to be here. I didn't want to put it on my success, but I got to be like making 200,000 a year or something like that. I said, by the age of 30, I at least just want to be here. And that's kind of the thing that's been keeping me grounded. I will at least want to be here. And that's it. And then I'll work from there.
And what's pressuring? What do you feel like is pressuring you to want to accomplish these things?
Honestly, just myself. It's really more so myself. You know, it's just when you feel like you should have been doing some of this stuff a little earlier in life, and then it's like you see yourself, and the fact that you got that 28 next to your name, that 28 is like, all right, 24 years old, Charles Allen, doing X, Y, and Z right now. It's not bad. 28-year-old Charles Allen doing X, Y, and Z right now. Come on, bro, it's time to grow up. That's honestly how it is for me.
What do you think is some of the things that matter the most right now to your generation? So to anybody that's 20 we'll say 20, 25 and up right now.
Honestly, just being able to live. Right now, it's kind of tough for a lot of people. And, you know, like I said before, I'm blessed. I got my parents in my life. But I definitely want to make it for myself. But, like, for people my age, it's hard to make it for yourself nowadays. And I see a lot of people saying it because, you know, some people get lucky. They get a good career. They're able to go out and do what they got to do. I actually had a high school reunion, like, 8 months ago, I think. And for the most part, everybody doing well, but not everybody is. Some people still live with their parents because it's just hard out here. It really is. And then you start to see other people. I'm not the most on social media, I will admit that, but it's starting to seem like a lot of people, especially in my age group, is like they still home with their folks. They're not really making enough in their career where they can like happily do something. And say they did what I did, where they got a property. Now you house poor because you got all these repairs and everything coming in. It just keeps you broke. So it's just like I feel like everything from my generation nowadays is just trying to make it in some way, shape, or form. Trying to do something where like you're not just keeping your neck above water the entire time.
And do you feel like you're the spark that can make change?
I'm the spark that can make change for myself and some of the folks around me. As for like the world and like the city and all that, nah.
Nah, not for the
No, I'm
well,
like I ain't doing all that.
Spider-Man or Superman, but yeah, for the what I meant is for the like for the people, your family, for the people that's around you. Like you got friends that's in the same age category as you. You know, you want them to also feel empowered, supported, and try to get them the tools and the information that you were given to try to get them, if they're not in a good space, to try to get them to a good space. So that's pretty much what I meant by that.
I've always, if I could do something to help someone out, I have. I've always tried to help people out where I can. When I first started my career doing like the IT technical support, my job was through a company called Tech Systems. So when I had other people that was also like getting into it, where they were just looking for something for a quick job, I said, hey, you know, this is the guy that kind of helped me get a little contract. There you go. And it's also not bad just to also have people around you that also can get you doing something yourself. Like the whole property thing that I'm into now, it wasn't like I myself said, let me go do that. I actually have a friend of mine, one of my best friends. He lives all the way out in Pottstown. He was looking for ways to make it, get some extra cash and whatnot. And he just, you know, he saw this and he said, I'm going to do it. And then he did it. And then honestly, because he did it, he actually put me in contact with the mortgage company he used. He put me in contact with the realtor that he used. The realtor found me a really nice deal on this place. When I tell you it was a steal for a price, it was a steal for a price. My dad showed up. He's like, yo, you really got a nice place for a nice price. So that was the spark that he did to do something for me. I just hope I can take what I'm learning now and do it for someone else.
So what made you or sparked you that made you want to like start investing in real estate?
I was getting older. When I'm getting older now, really part of it is my age. It's just the thing that really made me want to do it is just having something and starting something for myself. That's really what made me want to do it. And then getting in, going through the process, having my family back me up because they kind of helped me out with like figuring out how to do some things, and then conversating with some of my dad, my mentor. Mm-hmm. It kind of makes me want to go a little further. And he's just like, yeah, you know, even he was like, yeah, he knows a guy who also does this. He says, you get a good amount of properties, man, you don't have to work another day in your life. Them Jones are just going to take care of it. He said, you ain't got to worry about paying extra on them or nothing like that. Let it rock for 30 years. You go to retire, you good. In all honesty, so it was really to get to the answer that you, to get to the question that you asked me. The thing that made me want to do it is just wanting something for myself. That's what made me get to this point in my life now where I'm at.
Any piece of advice that you could give to people your age and the younger youth, what would that piece of advice be?
I'll be perfectly honest with you, E. I really can't say right now because I feel like I myself am still learning. I'm still in a place of learning. If I had to say, anything, it's really just listen. Just listen. When you're in your young mid-20s and all that, still have your fun. Go out there, enjoy the world, but definitely still listen to those around you because my friend has been doing this for about 3 years. He's been, he just got his second property and he was trying to put me onto years. And for a lot of the times, I kind of like just put it into the back of my mind and I kind of BS'd. I'm not going to curse. I BS'd. And then I finally got into it. I'm like, what if I had done this earlier? So probably of all things, listen to those around you, fully take in the advice that they're giving you, take it with a grain of salt, and then evaluate if that's what's good for you. Because to be honest with you, now I'm thinking about it, there's a couple things that I probably would have done if I was like back out of school. I probably would have did like reserves for the military or something like that. So when I get older, I got retirement and I say if I just want to go to the hospital to get checked up, I can go to the VA. Or something like this where I just get this process started on looking for that property, save up for a couple of years. And then now I have this. And now by the time I'm 28, hopefully I would have got my second or third one. So, when people are around you and they're giving you that advice, listen, take it with a grain of salt, and then evaluate if it's good for you.
You see a lot of the stuff that's happening, with killing and just everything that's happening, that's going on in the world, not just in the city of Philadelphia where we live, but in the world. And a lot of it involves a lot of our youth, right? A lot of the younger generation, from anywhere between 16 to 30. What would you say, or what do you think is some of the cause for the way things are right now with the youth and the killing and all that stuff?
I'll be 100% honest with you. I really do think it comes down to a culture thing. And this question actually had me thinking about a conversation I had about 4 years ago at a barbershop. They was going back and forth and they were saying, hey, these music videos and everything really don't have any effect on kids. Like the guy said, I don't believe that it does. And I said, I vehemently disagree with him. Like, the best example I can give is, again, you know what Reddit is? It's like a social media like platform app that people use to just like do like random posts and all that.
I never heard.
So I'm on Reddit. It's very entertaining, and there's like a whole Philly subreddit. So I'm on there, and then there's this kid. His rapper name was like OTK Ghost or something like that. And apparently, young boy was a really good basketball player. And then next thing you know, you see him laying dead on the ground. Well, you watch a video up, you search him up by his rapper name. You over here talking about the drills and everything he did, about how so-and-so was dead. It's like, I noticed that we keep putting this stuff out here, this stuff about doing drills, doing this, killing so-and-so, all this and all this. And I feel like it's only going to keep feeding into this vicious cycle of like, kill this person, rap about it, get killed, and this person raps about it, get killed, so on and so forth. And it just never really stops. And I feel like when you really don't have that good culture in general, whether it's at home and then the culture around you when it comes to your friends and your family, it's just never going to end well. And then on top of that, you got social media and you got these people putting it out there like this is an acceptable lifestyle. It's only going to get worse. As a
YB, I'm gonna speak young language. The YBs and the YNs. Outside of your dad, because obviously we know your dad is in your life. What would you expect from somebody in an older generation to teach a YB or a YN from your generation that's acceptable, that would kind of like keep you on track and keep them out of the streets? And these are for the YBs and the YNs that don't have that father figure in their life.
So I can only go off of what I've experienced in life and what I've had in my life. Honestly, just having someone that supports you, keeping you out of that bad culture. Like I said before, I was a homebody growing up. I ain't got a gangster bone in my body, bro. I fight if I gotta fight, but that's not the stuff I was raised around. I can listen to it. Best believe I would never be about it. And then there's always somebody around. And if somebody wasn't around, they made sure I was in one place in the house. So like just putting them in that environment where they're safe. So first off, like yo, when you out here in this world, don't put yourself in that environment. Don't be a part of that. You know, be in your own little space if you need be, and remove yourself from that. In all honesty, remove yourself from that, and then go and try to build something for yourself. Go out there and go work. Go out there, go make money, because like you're gonna be a part of this lifestyle. You're gonna be in this environment. You're gonna be stuck in that environment, bro. The fact that I can say that in my lifetime, I may have been a homebody. Don't get me wrong, but you know, I went to school, got a job, had good friends around me, had a good environment around me. Even though I grew up in the city of Philadelphia, I always kept my environment safe. And then look at me now, bro. I was able to leave the country, go to Japan for like a week and a half, and come back. Now I got that experience. I went to Canada before just to visit Toronto, just for the hell of it. You know, I was all able to do that because of what I had and how my environment was.
What movies, music, art do you think defines your culture and your generation? Now, again, for the YBs and the YNs, obviously a lot of them will say drill, right? But we have a clear understanding and a clear definition that you listen to it, but that's not who you are. So like, but we're talking about your generation as a whole, not just Charles. We're talking about your generation as a whole. So what do you think is some of the music, movies, and art that defines your generation growing up, or define your generation growing up?
I'll be honest with you. My generation growing up, I can't really think of like movies per se, but I feel like the thing that defined my generation growing up was social media. Like growing up for me, and then having like Facebook initially, MySpace, if too many people actually remember that.
Yeah,
you remember MySpace? Yeah. I feel like my generation pretty much just grew up like with social media, and then getting that immediate like connectivity, and then like the thing that really helped define us, in my personal opinion, was like memes and everything, because that was just like our way of like in ourselves. Like every little meme is just basically like an expression of how we're feeling about something, you know, whether it's good or bad. So that's what I feel like that was the thing that did it for us. And like social media was our thing growing up. That's what we had. We didn't have like movies or nothing like that. And I don't really think there's too many that really captured like the essence of what my generation was. Our generation was straight up just social media. And that's like what we had that defined us.
And what's some of those things that you can say or think that can connect, or would connect your generation with the older generation? Outside of social media, social media is, you know, from your generation to my generation to older generation, it's just everybody's on social media.
Everybody's on social media, but not everybody on social media has the same opinion. I don't have the same opinion as my dad on a lot of things. I do have the same opinion.
Dad's not on social media.
My dad is not on social media, yeah, but even then, it's like, think of social media as like, there's a room over there in Canada, there's a room over there in Japan. You just grab that room and you just pulled it over here, and now I can talk to you. Nowadays, we got like FaceTime. Instagram has like the, what do you call it, like the little, it's basically their own version of FaceTime, all that. I can do all that from my phone now. But the thing is, though, like, we're not always going to see eye to eye. It just made it easier for us to talk to one another. But like, as for like getting them to understand and getting them to be on the same page with us, you really just got to talk to them and understand where they're coming from, and then try to let them know where you're coming from. Because really all this social media does is lets you share memes, share pictures, share your family, and then maybe talk to people. But even then, nowadays, that's kind of hard. Like, are you into politics? Neither am I.
I can't stand politics.
I can't stand politics neither. I don't really like it, but I feel like I'm being forced to have to understand it now. But like, you go on social media, you talking about one thing, you say Black Lives Matter or anything like that, read them comments. Ain't nobody gonna agree. Ain't not everybody gonna agree.
I mean, everybody's entitled to their own, you know, their own opinion. Social media is just what it is. It stands for. It's social. It's media. People. It's for entertainment. You know, but a lot of people take a lot of things personal on social media. It's my life, your entertainment. That's what it is. Most people take that out of content. Again, social media. If I post something, it's about me, my life, but it's for the viewers' entertainment. Now, depending on what you're posting, you know, if you're a celebrity or if you're some type of influencer, motivator, mentor, whatever, that people are always going to, the comment box is open unless you turn it off. People are always going to have their own opinion and voice and say whatever. The social media. That's just what it is. Once you sign up for an account for Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, what else we got? TikTok. This is what you're signing up for.
Yeah, you're right.
So that's just my opinion on how I look at it. But what would you say, or how would you say social media shape your views on your life, or career goals?
Honestly, I only ever use social media nowadays just to see how people are moving, see how they've been, and like just to keep up. Social media for me growing up kind of just gave me like the wrong image of what I thought things should be like in life. Like, you know, for instance, you know, I will admit I never really had the best positive image of like myself physically. Like I've been told by people like, bro, you look husky as hell. Like I remember I was in a gym one day and I was doing like 80 something dumbbells, chest press, right? And I remember some young boy was up next to me. He was like, yo, OG, I'm trying to get like husky like you. I'm like, I'm just fat. What are you talking about? and that's something I come to, you know, accept for myself. I say, you know what? I'm good as I am, and I can always improve it. So like social media never really helped me out when it comes to just like how I positively view myself. And then, you know, sometimes I've seen people that's my age that's, you know, doing very well in life. There was this girl I went to high school with, has her own business and everything. I'm like, damn, bro, like, what am I doing? So it's like, it never really gave me the most positive image. And then on top of that, like, you know, even though I had that good environment at being at home, you know, I always figured like what a friend group should be like and what hanging with the boys, what the boys should be like off of social media. But nah, hanging with the boys is you can go to the bar or just calling out your people, being like, yo, what's up? Like, oh, yo, Eagles won. You trying to go downtown? Just chill, keep it cool. And it's like, as I'm getting older, like, okay, I'm setting those definitions for myself now. I'm making a more positive image for myself, and really, social media is really just there for me to either laugh, ha ha ha, or just, you know, hey, how's so and so doing?
Speaking of social media, what platforms do you think is leading the culture?
Oh, that's easy. TikTok. That's easy. I will admit, I'm not on TikTok. I'm not on TikTok. I had an account, and it felt no different from like having like Instagram Reels, to be honest with you. But everybody loves it.
TikTok is, I can personally say, you know, I'm not really a TikTok. I do have one, both personal and business, but I'm more of the Instagram, really Instagram. But TikTok, I feel like when I post stuff, whether it's personal and or business on TikTok, I get more views, likes, and I get more love from TikTok because everybody is on TikTok.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of people that's on Instagram, but TikTok is just like, it's just something about it that like all of the younger kids, like my daughter, TikTok. So like you got all the younger kids, and then you got all the teenagers, and then it's just everybody's on TikTok. So like the algorithm is like a lot better on TikTok than it is on Instagram, business wise, and you know, personal wise too. So TikTok, I do feel like TikTok right now is like leading the culture, and that's why when whatever happened when they had banned it for the short period of time, that's why everybody was so upset because TikTok is
king.
TikTok is.
They got mad at the government. So the funniest thing they did was they went to some Chinese app called Red Note.
Yeah,
I thought that was hilarious.
I had downloaded.
Did it? Yeah. Was it good?
I never got on it. I did download it, but I never got on it.
Man, you might learn a little bit Mandarin, reach a new audience.
Everything was all Chinese though, right?
No, it's in English, but it's an app that's also popular in China. So you got a bunch of Americans coming to an app like that. It's like, oh yeah, you're an American. I can teach you Mandarin.
So, define brotherhood. When I say define, again, no dictionary.
I know.
Charles, define what your definition on friendship and brotherhood is.
Honestly, I feel like that friendship and that brotherhood, just going off of my friends and I, just having those people that you know are just going to be there for you when they need it, being willing to help out when they can, and just showing love when they can, just being there for those people around you. Like I said, like I got friends, I don't talk to them every day, but I know they still my best friends to this day. And I know if I really needed something and I really needed somebody to help me out with something, as long as it's not like outrageous. But it's like I know those are those people there that'll take care of me and help me out.
And how do you feel like you establish that relationship?
I'll be honest with you, the reason why I can say or how I establish those relationships really is just going through things with them. Like I'm not gonna say anything about what my friends have been through because that's between me and them.
Right.
But when you see your friends go through something and you're just there with them and you know the situation, how it is fully or how the situation is going through now, you kind of build a bond through that because you've been through it with them. And then when you go through your own thing and then you sit there and you talk to them about it and they help you walk through whatever situation it is, that's a bonding moment. And then on top of that, not even just the hardships, it's just the fun parts too. I went to college with some of my best friends. So, just the situations, just being out there, all the little funny things you've gotten into and gotten out of, all the times where you may have gotten a little too inebriated, so you may have had to been snuck into the back into the dorm so you don't get caught and the police called on you, but your friends are the ones that carry you back in. You can barely stand. Like, those are the stuff that really builds those bonds.
What's some of the greatest teachings that you learned from your dad?
It's hard to put into words. It's really just having him talk to me about the situation he's been in, and it'll come in, I'll digest it, but it won't really hit until it happens to you. That's the best thing I can say. It's just like, there's teachings that he's given me in life. He always say to me the best thing about hard work is getting it done. I see that every day when I go to work, and he's right. But when it just comes to just how situations are handled and some ways I go about things, it's like, when you're going through it, it's like, I see it now.
Have you ever been in a situation from a teaching that your dad taught that you didn't pay attention to and you had to deal with consequences? Not from him, but from behind your actions on not listening to what he said.
No, because for the most part, when I'm going through something, I will ask questions and I'll try to work my way through it. And, kind of like what you said before, with acceptance, like when you're going through the situation and you start to see certain things for yourself, you learn to accept it. And then I will admit one of my problems in life that I'm getting past is like, I overthink everything. Everybody who ever heard me talk will tell you I overthink everything. So it's just like when I'm in my situations and he gives me the advice, it helps calm my head down a little bit so that I can at least process the situation and just go through it. I never had to deal with a consequence per se. It's just more so like, I'm going through something, son, let me coach you through it.
And do you think that a lot of the YBs and the YNs out here that don't have a father figure, that some of the things that they're going through or doing is because they don't have somebody to actually teach them and show them?
Yes, I do. And, I don't think they have someone in their life where not only can they be their dad, really it's just being a dad. I mean, I think one of the toughest things I've heard, not just my dad say, but even other men say to their own sons, is like, I'm not your friend, I'm your dad. So to have someone there to immediately just sit you down and correct you on the spot, like doing that from like here, yeah. By the time you get here, it's like, all right, yeah, I already know. Like I talk to my dad. I try not to curse when I'm around him. I'm 28 years old. It's not that big of a deal. He don't really care, but still, it's something that was instilled in me. Like, don't do that. I feel like it's some of these young men, YBs, YNs, where you are to call them, if they had someone there to be like, don't do that. I better not catch you out here doing this. I feel like that, and then putting them in that environment where it's like, I'm not even gonna let you be out there like that. I feel like that'll help them out a lot.
Scenario: if your father wasn't as actively involved in your life as he has been and always will be, where do you think you would be?
I genuinely don't know. I genuinely don't know. I think some of the hardships that I've had in my life, both my mother and my father have walked me through it. I'll be honest with you, they both walked me through it, but there's been times, especially when it comes to like relationships, I had something where, this is really crazy, my last semester of college, prior to my last semester, I had to stay longer than I wanted to, not because I wasn't good at the school. It's because the class I wanted and I had to take wasn't available for another 2 semesters. So I had to come back, and I didn't want to commute back and forth. So at the time, I was supposed to be staying with my girlfriend. We broke up, and things didn't really end on the best note. And I'm not gonna lie, it kind of left me a little emotionally jabbed up. But I still had to stay with her though. So it's like, okay, I don't know how to navigate that. So being pulled to the side, being like, yo, listen, while you there, you do this. Don't act crazy. Don't do this. Don't do that, because like, it's only going to make you look crazy, and it's really going to help your mental health. To like, I say like a couple years ago, I met somebody, and it was at a certain environment. He was just like, hey, environments like that, like, you really got to be in your P's and your Q's, because like, it's not gonna work out. You got to see this person every day.
Right.
And I didn't really think about that till he said something about it. And that relationship lasted for 2 years. She ended up quitting like after like a year of being there, which was like great for me. But it's like, if I didn't have that advice to be given to me, both my mother and my father, because my mother's also given me some really great advice. And my mother's also been there to give her perspective on things. But if I did not have him in there, I really don't know how I would have handled those situations, because I don't think I was in the right headspace at that time to have dealt with it by myself.
Shout out to all the moms, because a lot of women out here, a lot of moms out here are being the head of the household, and they are playing parts of being the father and mother, and they're doing a hell of a job. So, I just wanted to take a moment to shout that out, because, a lot of women have stepped up, and they are playing both roles. We all know that it's some things that a woman can't teach a man, right? And there are some things that, obviously, that a man can't
teach a woman.
Teach a woman, right? So having both parents in your life navigating you through every situation, every hardship, every heartache is definitely a good thing.
Well, first off, I gotta say it right now, big shout out to Miss Dominique Lyons. She is also a big influence in my life. She's helped me out through everything, and I will say she has a tendency to be just a little bit more tough, and I understand why. She has a tendency to be just a little bit more tough, but there's been times where she really sat me down, and she just gave me like the realest answer when it comes to just situations where it's pretty obvious I'm not thinking about what the actual solution should have been. It's just like, why aren't you thinking about this? What are you going to do about this? And I'm not going to baby you through it. I'm going to let you be a grown man about it. I'm going to give you the suggestions. You figure out what to do from there. So yeah, shout out to my mom from that. And she continues to this day to help me out with things, whether it's big or small, whether it's like, hey, listen, you want me to, I'll go do X, Y, and Z. She don't got to do that. She don't got to do it. Guess what? She did it anyway. So shout out to her. My fault, brother. Go ahead.
A mom's love is one of a kind. It can never ever be replaced.
No,
it's mom. That's mom. The heart of the family, the foundation of the family. A mother's love is always, you only get one mom. You only get one mom. You only get one dad. You know what I mean? It's you may get I don't know, but you don't. One mom and one dad, so always be respectful no matter how old you get. Because I'm 34, and still to this day, I carry the most honor and the utmost respect for both of my parents. Like, I would never disrespect either one of them. I don't care how old I get. I may cuss here and there in front of them out of, not just having a conversation, and it might slip out, but like, I would never intentionally disrespect either of my parents, because they raised you, and no matter what, always respect your parents. So to all the YBs and all the YNs or whatever y'all want to call yourselves, man, like, y'all got to start respecting your parents and start listening to them, because you only get one set of parents, man, and once they gone, that's it.
You know what? Even though we're on that note, respecting your parents, and that's a very beautiful thing that you brought up. Not everybody lucky like us, eh? Some people really are in situations where mom is off doing her own thing and dad's not around. So it's like, what do you got? Or you got people who, honestly, mental health is a big thing. You mentioned it earlier. some of these parents ain't really got the best mental health space, and that has damaged their relationship with their children. So it's kind of like, how do their children navigate not having the support from their parents and on that? And then some parents, you know, God bless them, man. They don't have the best headspace mentally, but somehow, some way, they make it work to take care of their kids and do whatever they can to the best of their abilities to make sure that their kids are happy mentally, because it's like they know what they go through. But even with that being said, because of that mental health part, or because of what they've been through, or because of that trauma, it's like there's still like a little bit of damage with the relationship, but there's still a relationship. And those are the people that, like, you know what? When you get older, you'll recognize, like, all right, I can recognize there was some pitfalls there, but at the end of the day, that person was there for me and they cared for me. So I'm always gonna give them the utmost respect. I think that's just one little thing we gotta throw in there.
Yeah, I mean, it's always kind of hard to really navigate and speak to the people that don't have father figures or parents at all, whether, deceased or just not involved. Obviously it's always a lot harder to try to speak to those people, because it's like, what can you really say to them? What can you really do to help them, right? It's going to take a lot of change and a lot of help to try to reach down and grab those individuals, those people that don't have the support that we have. But the question is like, what can we do? The question is always going to remain, what can we do to change that? Like, what can we do to fix that, to reach those people, to help those people that don't have the resources and the support that we have? I don't have the answer to that, and I don't think you have the answer to it. I don't think nobody really does. It's like, that's something that we need more outreach programs. We need more community service. We need more rec centers. It's a lot of different things that's out of our reach that the city and the government has to do to reach down, to connect with those individuals, to help lift them in their time of need. This is why I built this platform, is to try to help people and reach out to people that I know that may not have that type of support system, and reach out to people that, even if they do have that support system, to sit back and say, yo, come and talk to me, because there may be some underlying trauma that, or some things you just might want to talk about, right? To make you feel better and to help you understand life a little bit different. Because from my chair, I can say to you, Charles, how many times you been my age? Right? Your dad can ask you the same thing. How many times you been his age? So it's always a teaching. Whereas people that's older than you can always teach you something, but you can also teach me things too. Like, I've been your age before, but it's stuff that you know that I may not know. It's stuff that I know that you may know.
But the question is, do you want to listen?
Of course.
I feel like we're relatively close in age. And, I feel like you and I can talk, and then I can learn from you, you can learn from me. But there is a thing that, especially when someone gets to like that 50s and up, it gets harder to get through to them. And it gets harder because they're just stuck in their ways, and they're going to stay that way, and it's really hard to get them out of it. I've seen it before, and it's probably one of the most frustrating things ever. But for someone that's younger, I feel like if you can give them something good, or put them in, like I said before, put them in that good environment, that's probably what's going to help change their lives.
But a lot of them don't listen, though. A lot of them don't listen. A lot of YBs and YNs, like, they don't listen, because, like you just said, no matter what your age is, if you're used to doing something for 5, 6, 10, 20 years, it's going to take a long time to try to get that person out of those ways. And sometimes they're just not going to come out of, because they've been used to doing it for so long.
So at that point, they just got to want it for themselves.
They just got to want it for themselves. Now, that don't stop you per se from keep reaching out and keep being the person that you are, but it's going to take a lot of you to keep repetitively doing the same thing over and over again, knowing that person is just going to keep rejecting the help because they're set in their ways.
You're not wrong. I can't still help but think that it might also just still be that environment thing that we're talking about here. Like, you know, like you said, you can bring them to the water, but you can't make them drink. But you know, if you put them in a place like say what YN feel like, you know, you in a place where you feel like you got to be strapped 24/7. You know, your ops could be anywhere at any point in time. You know, you take them somewhere to a different part of the city where it's like, all right, I'm safe here. Cool, go to school, get good grades. You know, do X, Y, and Z, but stay away from that, and then you know, do what you want to do from there. I'm just gonna give you the tools, and if you mess up, you mess up. But if you say, all right, I want this better for myself. I'm somewhere where I can do this without having to worry about everything. I mean, it's like I can tell you all these things, but it's like if you're just going back to that same environment every day and not really having any way out of it, I can see why it's easy to be stuck in your ways.
Yeah, environmental change is what's needed. And then also, I mean, you can be very successful in a negative environment if you have it's who you surround yourself with, right? Because there's a lot of successful people that come out of the city of Philadelphia. So it's about who you surround yourself with. You can be in the most dangerous neighborhood in the city of Philadelphia, but if you're surrounding yourself around positive people and you got a strong support system and family that cares about you, you're not going to go down that wrong path because those individuals are not going to let you. So it is about the environment, but it's also about your support system and the people that you surround yourself with. Because look at you, like North Philadelphia, one of the toughest neighborhoods to grow up in the city of Philadelphia. But look at you. You're 28 years old. You ain't never been in trouble. You never been incarcerated. You never been, you know, put in situations where you had to choose the streets, right? Because you have your parents and you come from a good cloth. But your environment isn't the best environment, but you made the best out of what you had because of the family and the support system and the friends that you have. So it's not always about the environment, because you are living proof at the age of 28 years old that you can come out of North Philadelphia and be successful and make something out of your life, go to college, have multiple jobs, have a car, invest in a property. So it's not just the environment.
I agree to the extent where it comes to the people around you, but I do feel like the environment still plays a big purpose. Like you said, I grew up in North Philly, right? I cannot for the life of me remember my old address. I just can't. I do know that Diamond Street was not too far away. It was like probably 2 or 3 blocks away. I lived there till I was 9 years old, and then we moved to the Fairmount area. So now we like right down the street. My dad always said it was the hood. In my personal opinion, we had hoodish people. We had hoodish people there. We didn't have the hood. Like, that the very, very worst I ever experienced was like, I go in the backyard, my bike is missing. That's like the worst. I could still go up and down the block. The prison was right there. The old, not active prison, but like the State Penitentiary. Got the ice cream store down there. You got a restaurant here and here and there. Like, it was not like the most beautiful neighborhood in the world. It's gotten like that way now. Trust me, it's developed over the years, but it wasn't really bad like that. I was able to get back and forth without having to worry about nothing in that neighborhood for years. And on top of that, I had the people supporting me. Mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, everybody on my mom's side, everybody on my dad's side. So that's what I'm saying. I definitely do feel like it's a combination of both.
I mean, yeah, it is. It's definitely a combination of both. But again, you are proof that if you're coming up in Philadelphia, no matter what neighborhood you're coming up in, to all the YBs and all the YNs, you can make something for yourself. You can make something for yourself no matter what set you claim, what block you from, what street you live on, what time you go in the house, none of that. You can make something for yourself, man. Surround yourself with positive people, positive energy, people that care about you, people that want to see you do good. There is a way. There is a way. Now, to all the YBs and the YNs that don't have the tools, the resources, the family and friends to help y'all get to the level that y'all should be at, you know, there are, you know, rec centers and different programs that, you know, y'all can get into, whether that's playing football, going to the rec center and playing basketball. It's a lot of other different things out here that y'all can be doing for the YNs and the YBs that don't have moms, dads. It's stuff out here that y'all can be doing, man, outside of choosing gang violence and warring with each other blocks and all that crazy nonsense. Like, it's other stuff that y'all can be out here doing, man. Pick up a basketball, even if you go to your local playground and just shoot around with one of the homies. Like, it's other stuff that's out here that y'all could be doing.
I wanted to just get my opinion on it. I'll say this too, like, everybody sees social media and everything, and that influences them. Bro, you don't gotta be a superstar. You don't have to be that dude that's flashy. Yo, it's okay, 100%. Don't let no one tell you different. It's okay just to be a regular dude. Be a regular, everyday dude. Most people ain't gonna see 200, 300,000 K a year. Most people probably gonna make 50, 60, and that's fine. So, you know, support yourself, support your family, and just, you know, try to make the best for yourself. You know, ain't nothing wrong with just being a regular dude.
Yeah. Social media, the influence that social media has on every generation, not even specifically for the YBs and YNs, like the impact that social media has on every generation possible is insane. Even my generation, we believe that everything that we see on social media with the celebrities and the influencers and the advocates, and man, like you said, it's okay to be a regular person. It's okay to take that job that may pay you $15 an hour, right? Because it's not forever, and it's a job that's going to help you provide for your family. It's okay to work 9 to 5. Like, stop believing the hype of the internet and what the internet and is teaching. It's okay to work a 9 to 5 to be able to take care of your family. That's nothing wrong with it. What's not okay is to be out here running around, knocking people upside their heads, snatching old lady purses. That's not okay. That's not okay. Get a job, take care of your family, take care of your kids, and stay out the way.
That's some solid advice that I've been doing all my life. Here I am.
And again, don't matter the environment, right? At the end of the day, we men. Men don't make excuses. Men, we make it happen. If it ain't a way, you find one. We men. If there isn't a way, you make one, you find one. That's not saying go out here and rob and kill and steal. Find a legal way to make some money. Plenty of legal ways to make money, man. Like Lyons and YBs, man. Like, summertime, man. Get a case of water. Get 2 cases of water in a cooler and sell some waters. I mean, this is stuff I used to do when I was a kid, man. Like, sell waters. I used to sell water ice. My mom let me put the deep freezer on the porch, and we went to the water ice stand and just bought like tubs of water ice. My mom bought tubs of water ice for us, and we sold water ice and pretzels on the porch as kids. I was in elementary school doing that. So, like, there's ways to make money. If you 18, even 16, man, like, go get a couple dollars, borrow some money from somebody, get a couple dollars, go buy you a couple cases of water, man, in the summertime and sell some water. That beats a blank. That beats being out here trying to run down on somebody and take whatever, the little couple dollars that they may got in their pocket. There's ways, man. There's ways. Y'all just got to be willing, and y'all got to want to do something different. And obviously it's easier said than done, right?
No, it is easier said than done, but, you know, the good thing about our generation, or better say this time, is that you have the internet. So you got other people that have done something that you can do. You know, if you out here and it's like, I just want to do something, especially when you're young. You know, I've heard so many stories, people saying like, man, I really enjoy working with cars. So they would buy something cheap, fix it, sell it for double the price, and just keep doing it. You know, if you got the aptitude to do it or the want to do it. Or someone like yourself, like you said before, you get the water ice and you sit there and you sell it over there. There's always something else better you can do. Or, you know, if you was someone like me and you just really wanted something to do, you just walk around to all the stores. I remember I was, I think I was 18, 19, and I was just walking around my neighborhood, walking up and down Broad Street, just saying, "Are you hiring? You know, can I get an application, please?" And then I ended up getting like a little job working overnight at Rite Aid, and that was it wasn't paying the best, but
But it was a job.
it was a job, and then
It was putting money in your pocket.
and when that check hit, it was good.
Yeah, and you want to take it. You want to take a little shorty out. You got a couple of dollars. You could treat her, take her out on a date. Man, the younger generation is so brainwashed. It's crazy because even with some of the younger females, like a lot of the younger females, like they like the stuff that the YNs and the YBs is doing. They thinking that that's cool, so they also playing a part into the YNs and the YBs running around doing what they doing because they trying to impress the chicks. Like it's different. Like it's different, and I don't want to blame everything on social media because a lot of it, social media does take a blame for a lot of it, but the other percent of it, I'll say it's 50-50. 50% is social media, and then the other 50% is not having the support system, the proper tools, and parenting that they need.
Tools, proper parenting, and then like you mentioned before, the people around you. If y'all all doing that same BS, you're gonna end up doing it too.
Yeah, it's I don't know, man. It's different. The YNs and YBs, they real different, man. Like, and it's real. It's sad, and I wish it was something that I can do to try to change that narrative. But I'm only one person, and I can't physically like go out and be out there on the street and be out there on the corners and trying to pull everybody in and having conversations with them. A lot of the young boys, I'm sure they got old heads, OGs. They just not giving them the right game. They giving them game. They ain't giving them the right game. They ain't giving them the right game. And it's not all of them, but it's a mass percentage of the old heads out here that's schooling the young boys that's telling them, or not telling them rather, that the stuff that they doing is not the right stuff to be doing, to be indulging in. The other issue is a lot of the YNs and YBs, they old heads are like 2-3 years older than them. So they come from the same generation and the same cloth. So like they're letting them know that what they're doing is the right thing because they doing the same thing too. So that's another small minor issue too. Back to you. You come from a completely different cloth. You got a good head on your shoulders. You got a great support system. You got good friends. I mean, look, you're 28 years old and you own a property. That's amazing. That's an amazing accomplishment to have. Although you say that you wanted to do it earlier, but even at the age of 28, man, that's an amazing, amazing, amazing accomplishment to have. I think we bought our house in 2018. I don't remember how old I was. I'm 34 now, so I probably was like, you're probably smarter than me in math. How old was I?
I didn't hear the first part. You said you was how old when you got it?
We bought our house in 2018, and I'm 34 now. I think I was like 24.
You sound like 24. Yeah. That sounds about right.
You 28 and you own a property like that's good. That's a lot of motivation for people your age, like 28 years old. You got your first investment. I'm pretty sure it's a lot more to come. So y'all take it from this young man right here, 28 years old. He got his own property, man. Keys to his own property. What do you do with it? I'm pretty sure it's going to turn out excellent. He gonna make some real good financial from it. But again, Charles Allen Lyons is living proof that no matter the environment that you come from, if you got a good support system, good family, good friends, people that's pouring into you, that you can make it out the hood is what y'all call it,
make out the trip,
and still be successful. Bupodcast, Charles, I appreciate you. Anything in closing you want to say to the people?
Go out there and make it for yourself, man. It's nothing really holding y'all back. Like you mentioned before, you got the people there that's willing to support you, but there's always something out there that you can do. There's always something you can figure out. There's always something positive you can do for yourself and those around you. Don't let everything else around you bring you down. You have this, and you can do it.
Y'all heard it first. Bupodcast to all the YBs and YNs. Charles, 28 years old. real estate property at 28 years old, man. So I encourage all the Bupodcast followers, all the Bupodcast listeners and subscribers, all the YBs and all the YNs and whatever y'all want to call yourself, man. Like, anything is possible. Surround yourself with good people. There is hope. There is light at the end of the tunnel, man. Bupodcast, man. We hear y'all. Charles, I appreciate you coming today, man. Appreciate your time. I appreciate all your advice, the conversation, and I hope that today, when you leave here, that you learn something. You feel good about the conversation.
I feel great about the conversation, and I really do appreciate you I appreciate you bringing me in here for this conversation, and just the questions some are still lingering in my mind, and it's probably gonna make me think about, where I'm gonna want to be at, and if we ever do this again, man, I would love that, give you some updates on life.
Yeah, we definitely going to do it again, man. And I hope also, man, like, to everybody that's going to be listening and everybody that's going to be tuning in, man, like, I hope that y'all are able to learn something and take something from the conversation that I had today with Charles. To all the YNs and the YBs, man, like, take it from him. It is very, very, very possible to make it out the trenches, the hood, the neighborhood, whatever y'all want to call it, man, and be successful. You don't got to be running around doing nothing crazy, man. He living proof, man. Bupodcast, man. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And we signing out, man. Peace.